Welcome once again to Academia Talks TV. Today marks the first episode of our one-on-one interview, and we are fortunate to have the creator and the host of this unique talk show with us, Dr. Michelle Afrifah. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
When and why did you choose to move into academia?
Well, I think it starts from my university days. When I was doing my national service, I was a TA, a teaching assistant, and so at that time I was doing fine arts as a degree, so I was teaching drawing.
Okay.
And since it was a subject that I loved to do, and I realized I could, impart knowledge and teach people and bring my own ideas into things. I think that's what sparked my love of teaching. I'm like, hey, I can actually do this and it's fun. So so that's when I thought about actually going into teaching.
Okay.
But obviously I went into other things before settling fully into academia. But that's what really started it.
Yes, something really pushed you to move into academia, and you have moved in there. So far, any kind of frustration you have experienced in this career that you are pursuing?
Yes, there are a lot of frustrations, a lot of challenges, as with I think any occupation. So when you can have a passion for something, but then when you get into it as a profession, you realize there's a different angle to things. It was like when I was doing fine arts as a first degree, I loved to paint and whatever, but I really hated exhibitions. And as a professional artist, you have to hold exhibitions, but I really hated doing it, so I never did it. So I think that's the difference. You can love something, but then when you want to make a career out of it, you have to understand that there's certain structures that you have to sort of abide by.
Different from what you were
teaching, relaxed teaching, because as an artist, we're very, we do what we want, when we want, how we want it, sort of thing. But when you come into academia, there's a structure you have to follow, and you can't always do whatever it is that you want. You have to follow that structure. So I think that was one of the main challenges for me.
Michelle hasn't changed in certain aspects of who she is. Yeah. So what's so unique about Michelle that you want to share with us?
Something has changed, because I used to be quite shy, extremely shy.
Okay.
And I think getting into this profession, you can't afford to be shy, because teaching in front of hundreds of students, having seminars, conferences, public speaking, you can't run away from it. I've learned to be a bit more, should I say less shy? I'm still shy, but I've learned how to do certain things that require, not having any stage fright, I guess. So that's one of the things that has changed around. But other than that, my personality hasn't.
Okay.
I find that in academia, you do have to tone down your personality somewhat, depending on the situation, being in a professional setting. But I tend to bring little bits of my personality into the classroom when I can. But I think in that case, that's where things have changed and where they haven't.
So trying to bring some personality in there as you lecture students. What kind of personality do you think you normally bring out there when you come to the lecture hall?
I'd like to think I'm funny, so I tend to crack a few jokes in the classroom. Some students will find it funny, some wouldn't, but I like to bring my sense of humor to the classroom, because the worst thing you can do is have students sleeping on you. Nobody wants that. So I tend to bring a little humor in once in a while to just get people awake. But then that's my personality anyway. So I'll be serious, I'll throw in a little bit of humor, and I think that works quite well. Yeah.
And it's working well for you, I guess.
I think so. Most of the students, I hope, I have. So, I'm more of a demonstrator when it comes to teaching style, just sort of a mix between the typical traditional lecturing and showing students how to do things. So I think that's the best place in which I fit, a demonstrator. So as I'm talking, I love audio visuals. That's my thing in the classroom. So if I'm doing a PowerPoint presentation, I like to have videos in there, imagery. I like to throw imagery, all over the place, case studies, examples. The fact that I was studying online makes it a bit challenging, but in the normal setup, I love activities. And that's what my teaching style is.
Do you think your background is reflecting in here, where you are an artist and therefore more visuals than words?
Definitely. It's just who I am. So the fact that I'm an artist, I'm more visually tuned to things. So I respond to what I see. And so I put imagery into everything that I do. So definitely that comes out all the time in the classroom.
Every professional has to be ethical.
Oh yeah.
What is your work ethics like?
Militaristic. If that's the right word, if it's the word I should use. When it comes to my work, I'm driven, and you've worked with me for a little bit, so I think you kind of know when something needs to get done, it has to get done.
And it should be done on time.
It should be done on time. The time thing kills me. One of my pet peeves is not sticking to time. So when it comes to my work ethic, I'm a bit crazy when it comes to work. If something has to be done, it has to be done and done well. If you're the kind of person that's very relaxed, you may have a problem working with me. We would drive each other crazy. It wouldn't work. So, stringent and it gets done. So, it's a style. So
and so far, I think it's working for you.
Well, it is. It's stressful at the same time, because I see people who are very relaxed and I'm almost envious. I'm like, my God, how can you just relax like that? But it has the pros and cons. So it helps get things done, but at the same time, it can be a bit stressful.
I guess this is driven by a motor of some sort.
It is. It is.
So I'm assuming this work ethic is driven by a motto. Tell us.
Well, I have more like my life's motto, I guess. I have this sort of everywhere. I throw it in every chance I get. So it's on my signature, my email signature. It's every man dies, but not every man really lives. So those of you who know me, you've seen this floating around.
Every man dies.
Yeah.
But not every man
really lives.
How does it reflect? I mean, can you just
throw
a little bit more light on that? Every man dies, but not every man lives.
So there's a little bit of a story to that.